So listen, I one thing that I like to do is anytime I bring in phenomenal guests of y'allself, there's a game that I like to play that's called Rapid Fire. And that rapid fire is, I'm gonna ask you a question on some insight, especially diving a little bit more deeper into our conversation of what we're talking about. And the question is that I want to start out with. A lot of times people hear about the word compound interest. And it's a very word, it sounds great, but at the end of the day, if I really want us to think about, let's say that I'm John Doe, and I'm looking at positioning myself to get a IUL and to dive into that compound interest. So if we could just kind of wrap up or unwrap a little bit, let's just kind of get in this vehicle, lay a foundation right here of that compound interest and the fact of how it can benefit, us to be able to position, our financial well-being.
Yeah, compound interest. Most of the world today knows simple interest. What is simple interest? Basically, the bank says, "Hey," which they don't do. "Hey, we're going to give you to open your actual savings account. We're going to put a 3% interest on that account every 6 months." Okay, so that's a basic 3% interest on the dollar every single 6 months. Okay, now what compound interest is, this is how the IUL gets so fascinating and mind blowing because of the compounding that involves, and the calculations are so wide that I mentally can't even name the numbers. But let's typically say compound interest at 10%. Well, compound interest is this. It's first year you're going to get hit with simple interest, meaning a 15% max of your IUL, right? So that's the first year you didn't put $100 in, $200 in a month. It's $2,400 a month. You get that first 15% of that compound interest on top of that $2,400 that you didn't invest. Okay, cool. Year two starts to roll around, right? And you're going to get the same 15% on top of the 24, but what you earned last year on top of that 24, that's going to get another 15% on top of it. So it's double interest, right? It's the interest on the monthly premium annually versus the interest that you gain from the previous year, which is phenomenal. Okay, so you're taking basically $100 a month. That's $1,200 a year, right? And you're turning that $1,200 a year. Let's say you get an extra $1,000 on top of that. Okay, it didn't break even because you ready for that 12,000 to hit. But then that next year, that same 1,000 then grew to 3,000 or 4,000, and that same 1,200 is making a good 1,000 every single year on top of that.
Right.
So let's put it on a 10-year. Let's say you have a $300,000 mortgage, right?
Right.
And you're trying to pay that mortgage off in 10 years. Most financial advisors would say, "Hey, double up on your payments," right? Why do that? Why double up on why go to work 9 to 5, put in overtime, get taxed more, bring home less for more effort of work? You brought on maybe a couple $100 extra on top of the check. What's a couple of $100, guys? We throw that away buying tater chips every month at the store. If you count 30 days of how much you throw away on junk food, you'll be amazed how much money you spend just throwing money away, right? But those are our wants, not our needs. Those are our wants. So $300,000 mortgage, and you're trying to pay it off in 10 years, my sit down would be to put an illustration for you to show you how much money are you spending unnecessarily a month.
Wow.
So this is a program or a vehicle that you're not even pulling money out of your own pocket, building this compound interest. You're not pulling money out of your pocket. I don't want your money out of your pocket. I'm not here to sell you anything. This is not bread. It doesn't expire. Okay, so I'm not here to sell you anything. What I'm here to do is educate you and help you and put you in a better position so you can come out of debt extremely faster. Okay, I want to decrease your mortgage by 20 years for you. All I need you to do is be a student to this IUL and let it teach you how to be a professor, or get that doctorate that you're looking for, drive that Bentley that you all want, okay? Because that's the vehicle we want, right? We want to all comfortably drive this Bentley without worrying about a payment or a mortgage or anything. So let's learn about that compound interest. What does it do? What do it do for me? So in 10 years, You're making minimum payments towards your mortgage. Let's say it's $1,500, $2,000, whatever. Okay. So I'm putting $24,000 into this mortgage every single year. Do the math, times that by 10, that's already what, 240. Or 10 years, that's 240, right? Well, guys, you already have the money in your account to pay this house off probably in 5 to 6 years. It has already surpassed $250,000. Why don't you just take $150,000 of that out, tax-free, put it towards your mortgage, right? And guess what? When you borrow from yourself, you don't have to pay yourself back, and pay yourself back, let's say you do. Well, guess what? That $150,000 that you pulled shows up for that another compound interest like it never left. So you're still gaining money, off the money that you just borrowed.
Man, that's crazy.
You gaining money off the money you just borrowed like it never left. How great is, like, let's be for real. Where are you going to get that from? What kind of vehicle are you going to get? Where? So that's pretty much the game. That's the name of the compound interest. Learn more about that compound interest. I'm reading a book now called The Slight Edge. And it speaks about having great ideas. It speaks about building compound interest. It talks about a story about a father passing that told his 2 boys, I'm either going to leave you $1 million or I'm going to leave, one of you going to get $1 million and the other is going to get a penny that's going to compound every single day. Which one? One kid chucked $1 million and he went broke because he jumped out there too fast. The other kid took the penny a day on compound interest, went back to work, but in 5 years, he was a billionaire on money that is continuously still growing as he still live his normal life. So be smart about the choices that you take. Learn more about that compound interest. I put everybody on game about that one.
Hey, let me tell y'all something. These are secrets right now that you're getting. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna throw this out here. Us and from the black community, we both from South Georgia. One of the myths that's out there is save your money, put it in the bank. Make sure you try to save as much as possible and do all of these different things where that money is not doing anything. It's not moving, it's not earning. So the whole point of this education is we want to be able to, this is the IPN network. This is improvement to help you take control of your life, give you direction. And this vehicle that I'm telling you that many people are not even talking about.
Well, Kayla, you just hit a great point. You said, save your money, put it into a bank.
There you go.
Guess what? Guess what the bank is doing with your money?
There you go.
Put it into an IUL. How do you think the bank creates all these loans?
Yes, sir.
Guys, I want you to Google one thing. I want everybody to write this down and Google it later. Stoli. S-T whatever. Stoli. Stoli is really defined as your own bank, becoming your own bank. Okay. I don't want to dive too deep into it, but I'm going to talk about it a little briefly. Stoli is something that the bank don't want to hear. So when you know about Stoli, you basically walking into an establishment, a financial institution, and you saying, I want to buy me a house. They're going to say, okay, how much money? Let's run your credit. Let's go through all the jibs and the jabs and the stabs and the gunshots, because that's what you finna take a brutal beating at the bank, right? At this financial institute trying to buy a house, right? But what if you had a piece of paper or a phone number that you can call with an account that has $250,000 already built in it? On tap. About the compound interest that we're talking about. Because you've been building this from age 20 and you're 35 now. And you want to buy a house and you've been putting $200 just saving for yourself to the side. Bump the 401k because you 35. You can't go pull money out of your 401k without getting a 10% and a 30% hit. That's 40% off of the money that you even want to borrow.
Well, that's what we talk.
You trying to go get 30,000 out of 401k. How much you really taking home? 16,000? Let's be for real. But what if I tell you can go take out 30,000 and get 30,000? Of your own money, of your own investment. And you walk into this bank and you tell them, hey, listen, I have an IUL account that has $250,000 in it, and I want to take money out of my IUL to put down on my house. They're gonna look at you and be pissed. Caleb, they're gonna be pissed.
Man, listen.
Because what they don't want you to know is the banks are designed for 9 to 5 workers to deposit their money in so we can keep America going by literally investing in cash value life insurance. Google it. You all have smartphones, use them. We all have AI, use it. Guys, the bank, that little $5 they charge you for that savings account, if you don't have this certain amount of money in, they take that little money because a billion people at one bank is that's a lot of $5 bills coming in there, okay? Mm-hmm. So the amount of people that they have covers their policy. They can pay for a cash value life insurance vehicle that builds phenomenal cash value growth so they can lend the money out to you and then you pay interest back on that same money. Okay. So they get all their money back plus you paid them more.
That's crazy, man.
They hustling. The bank is a hustle. It's a hustle. Don't get fooled by the bank. Become your own bank. Google that word stolen. Google that word stolen.
Become your own bank. Now, I'm not trying to go too deep. But, I mean, even, and you've seen this especially, and I'm going to definitely hit both of y'all lanes on this, in business models. Mm-hmm. Like, we're not even talking about how you can set the IUL as a vehicle to be able to pay off debt. But what some people do as well, if we really want to go here, Vernon.
Let's go.
They use the IUL as a vehicle to leverage business.
Yes.
To leverage business. Yes. You borrow from that IUL to be able to leverage and maybe starting that Airbnb or real estate type of ventures. So it's different ways that you can look at the IUL. Yes, for, like you said, to set that vehicle up to be able to pay off that debt. But you can leverage, I'm telling you, listen, if you can look it up, please look it up. There are many people that are using this vehicle to leverage. They're using it as their own bank to be able to leverage other things that may be real estate, that may be Airbnb or other vehicles to be able to leverage income. Mm-hmm. So just understanding the importance that we've got to kind of hit on about the lack of knowledge. We've got to deprogram ourselves. Right. We just think that it's just this one way and that to get there, but to just be honest with you, and you hit on this earlier. I mean, I love my parents, but I want to be able to. I have a different mindset. It's a different place that I want to get, and in order for me to be able to do that, I've got to change my company. I always say this, that the company that you keep will determine the level that you will reach.
Absolutely.
Bad company will corrupt good character. You talked about hitting on the lack of knowledge. We're surrounding ourselves to nobody that knows nothing about how money works. Nobody's taking opportunities. Nobody doesn't want to be financial. We're in financial suicide. I've been there, done it, got a t-shirt for it, made all of these different states. And tonight, we are just educating that there is a vehicle that can transform your mindset. And my brothers, we're here tonight to bring awareness on this.
Yes, we are. Right.
There's so many different ways you can use this IUL in whatever you're doing. Everybody say, oh man, you see all these different people say, oh man, you want to get in the 9-to-5 game. You want to change it. If you want to trade, stop trading time for money, then you go ahead and get you a side hustle and do all of this different stuff and passive income. But at the end of the day, we're still not being able to educate ourselves on how we can use these vehicles to be able to, man, listen. This thing is recession proof. This is the greatest thing I've ever heard, literally.
I tell you one thing, you hit on something very important. The IUL could be used for anything. Pumping gas all the way to actually building an empire. Okay? If you need $5 of gas, get an IUL. If you want to build an empire, get an IUL. Yeah. You know, guys, for an example, Donald Trump, and I ain't talking about Trump, but he paid how much for a bail? Millions?
Yeah.
Right? He paid millions for his bail, right? Not getting into the politic world. But where do you think he get the money from? I bump what he done. Listen, I'm not into politics.
Come on.
But where do you think he got all of the money from to be able to walk into New York jail, pay the bond, and turn around and walk right back out the door? I just want you to know where you think he got the money from. It was cash value life insurance. Literally.
It's the game.
Why you think he panicked so bad when they was finna take all of it, $374 million of it? Because that's all you got. Because that money is a safety net. It's a foundation to a bottom that you will never have to feel hit it ever again if you start the journey. You could be as young as 18 years old working at McDonald's, taking one of your checks, putting it into an IUL for the next 5 years, and watch where it gets you. Man. Watch where it gets you. You can work at McDonald's for 10 years and become a millionaire. And if you're willing to sit down and be educated and disciplined enough to pay attention, I can make you that millionaire. I can make you that millionaire.
I would actually start at the IUL. Oh, sorry about that. My question to you was actually one that I've already asked for myself personally. But I wanted to ask him, just for the listeners, how you actually start an IUL. What's the beginning process? How do you really start to take advantage of this? Because amongst the other things that this IUL gives, it gives hope. It gives hope to the people that are of age, such as myself, who has more time behind them than they do in front of them, right? And then when you get stuck in the traditional way of living, with the go to work 9 to 5, with the 401k,
yes, sir,
and this and that. At my age, I don't have time to really cash out and to really live the type of life that I want to live unless I work 2-3 jobs, but work after retirement, work well into my 70s and 80s, hopefully, and then I wouldn't have the not so much just the life expectancy, but the quality of life at that age to really enjoy the things that I worked so hard for, right? So how do you dive head first into this IUL, Vernon? What do you do to really, if I wanted to really take advantage of that right now, today, like right now, how would I get started doing that?
You want to put me to a test, guys, huh? A lot of this stuff going to be coming for part 2, guys. I'm going to be honest. All the gems and the illustrations that I want to show you and build, we can't even do today because it will blow your mind. We'll be here for 12 hours. But just a simple start. First of all, go to TikTok, right? Hit your search bar, okay? Type in best_financial broker. And you follow me. That's the first step. Okay.
Yeah.
Or you can email me at vernonmoore59@gmail.com. That's V as in Victor, E as in Eric, R as in River, N as in Nancy, O as in Octopus, N as in Nancy, MOORE59@gmail.com, and leave your contact information. Or you can also add me on Instagram at best_financial broker as well. On top of that, my number is 813-550-9631. Those are the first steps. Second steps that are mostly important is what I would sit you down and do is a financial planning. Okay, this is where it kicks in. And I will ask you questions like, what is your mortgage amount? What is your spending habits? Okay, what is your ideas in the next 5 years? I have to dig deep because an IUL is not a 40-yard dash, it's a marathon, right? And we want to live a marathon, not a 40-yard dash, right? So the whole starting process starts with discipline and questions and understanding, am I really that person that can sit back and pay into something that I can watch benefit me? Because 5 years is a long time for me. If you're that type of person, it won't work for you. Because I'm a type of person that I'm already planning for 5 years. Okay? I'm already planning for 5 years. A lot of people can't get an IUL, and a lot of IULs hurt people because you're not self-disciplined enough to keep it up. That's where the failure come in. That's the downside of it, because there's no downside to when it's a no-brainer, right? So the first sit down is, are you disciplined enough? What's your goals? And how much are you saving monthly? Because I need to know all of these things so I would know how to financially put you in a better position. Now, the money that you contribute depends on the distance that you have to run. It's just the way it is, okay? I can't help if you're not making 6 figures. But that don't mean you can't get an IUL. I can't help if you do make 6 figures. Well, let's get you to $1 million. I don't care. Guess what, guys? I'm not a billionaire yet. I'm financially okay. I'm wealthy, okay, but I'm not a billionaire yet. But I can get a billionaire to a trillionaire. I don't care who I sit down with. I am in a position now in my life that I'm here to help you.
That's it.
Okay? It's not about the money that I make. It's not about any of it. It's about how I can help you. Okay? And it's not about, if you want to join, email me, call me, hey, I'm here. But at the end of the day, if you want to become licensed, that's fine. Let's lock in and let's do what we have to do. But at the end of the day, guys, it's all about change, especially, like I say, minority culture. We need this education. We need this gift. We need this knowledge. We need this education because we're lost.
Yes.
Okay? If we want to take over towns and rebuild and do what we have to do, we have to be educated, guys. We have to sit back and listen. Okay? So to get started is the first, make sure that you're ready. Make sure that you're ready because it's not a light bill every month. It's not a light bill. Guess what? That 401k come out your check. Only thing you telling me is, I don't see it. Well, don't see this. Don't see this.
Yeah.
It's an extra $100 to $200 off your monthly budget. Don't look at it. Let's activate it. Let's set it up. Forget about it. You still ready to work. Okay, it's okay to work a job, a 9 to 5, or whatever you want to do, but invest into yourself. If you're sitting up there putting your money in a savings account and you're not growing any interest, how dare you sit there and let them fool you like that? How dare you let them rob you like that? Knowing that the only money you got in there is the money you put in. That's sad. That's sad. So getting started is easy. It depends on your mindset. It depends on how bad you want it. Now, once I get it all set up for you, I put an illustration together for you, which we'll be showing on part 2. We got to get everybody hit that subscribe button from Caleb.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hit that subscribe button, man.
Subscribe button because the next episode, we're going to be going through a live illustration on, let's say, a guy. I'm going to actually probably have a live sale with a real client, and we're going to be sitting here going through his IUL illustration together. And I promise you, he's probably going to be a truck driver putting in probably $500 to $600, $700 a month. Everybody don't have to start that high, guys. You do not have to start that high. Some people are in different places than others. That doesn't mean you can't start. I literally started my IUL with $100 a month. Just $100 a month. And I gradually started to increase it because I can overfund it without hitting a MEC. That's too deep. Can't go in on that. But at the end of the day, we're going to be doing a live session. Hit that subscribe button right now because that next podcast that we launched with this live illustration is going to be mind-blowing.
Yes, sir.
And you're going to be able to watch the numbers live yourself with me on a live client.
Yes, sir.
Building the illustration that's going to change his life in the next 5 years. I just had my last client, and he just refinanced his house. Man, I already paid the house off 30 years. He refinanced it. He refinanced the house, bought his wife a car. He has a car note and has 6 credit card debts. Put an illustration together. We paid it all off in 5.5 years, and he still had $300,000 in his IUL to borrow from, and he's debt free.
My God.
Debt free.
That's rest. We were talking about resting earlier.
He paid $600 a month.
Right?
Yes, sir.
He's willing to put in $600 a month for his family to never look back again. And if something happened to this guy, his family is a millionaire because he have left them millions.
Wow.
Guys, there's a lot to talk about, man. Caleb.
This is we can take this a million different ways, but I like to always ask this question, especially to our IPN family. There's someone right now that's listening to our conversation. They've lost hope. They things are happening in their life. They're in financial crisis. They're looking at trying to get their life to the next level. They don't know what direction to go in. They're in the middle of a storm, and it's taking them out mentally. And some days it gets hard. That's someone that's listening to this right now. And I just want to just let kind of y'all in your own way. What advice would you give to that person that's in that place, in that direction, or if they wanting to give up and don't know where to go, they don't know where to step, and just a tough situation for them right now.
For me personally, being one who's accepted Christ, we were speaking earlier about a place of rest. There was a situation, I'll keep it kind of really simple, for the ones that may not with all due respect for the ones that may not know their Bibles as others do, but we have all heard of certain stories, and here's one where there was a hurricane out on the water, and it was tossing the ship back and forth. And, well, of course, Jesus was down there asleep. And the disciples and the guys on the boat were like, somebody go wake him, man. This storm is getting rough and it's doing this. And he was down there asleep. Could that have been a lesson to them to teach them how to rest during their storm? This IUL gave me the ability and afforded me the opportunity to rest during my financial storm. There's a natural application to that story and also a spiritual application to that story. But we're going to stay on the natural side of it. We are, those type beings. But this IUL actually gave me and afforded me the ability to rest during a storm. You know how valuable that rest is, man? Mm-hmm. You can't put a dollar amount on that level of rest, on that level of peace. You can rest in every situation. But then to be able to rest comfortably during a storm, this IUL gives me that opportunity and that ability to rest during my storm.
That's deep. That's deep. Guys, that's deep. And with myself, just the advice that I would give is, I want you to take a piece of paper. It don't have to be today, it don't have to be tomorrow, but sometime in your life, you need to pull out a piece of paper and write down everything that you do that don't make you no profit, and stop doing it. Stop doing it. Because if you're giving out more than you're bringing in, and I'm not talking about taking care of your responsibilities. I'm talking about literally going out, partying, drinking this and that with your friends and family. God, stop doing the things that's not benefiting your future. Because maybe God is trying to put you into a place to, by yourself, to mentally get you to this financial world that you want. Guys, you can't be wow. And God don't sign a paycheck. God gives you opportunity. It's up to you to choose on what you want to do. And we're telling you today to make a choice. Stop doing those unnecessary things. Start putting you some money to the side. Guys, you don't need tater chips every day. You don't need a honey bun every day. Start telling the kids no sometimes, because when they get older, they'll understand more. Because it matters when they go into college. It matters when those prom days. It matters when it matters. It matters. So to the ones that are listening, that are in that situation, just stop doing those things and start putting something to yourself that's going to benefit your whole life.
Wow. It's another episode. IPN, Financial Corner. And I appreciate both of y'all taking out the time of y'all schedule.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. And man, this is definitely just the beginning. Yeah. And I really appreciate it. Like we always do, hit that subscribe button. Like I ain't ever subscribed every podcast. I'll see you at the top, because the bottom is too crowded. Man. Woo.